25. By the way.
Okay.
All right. We are live. So
Wow.
welcome everybody to the February. Looks like we're having some issues here on Facebook. Just remove. All right. Let me try to remove and re-add. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Well, I don't know. For some reason, Facebook's not working. So that is a bummer. I don't know why it wouldn't work. That's never happened before. All right, I'm trying to reconnect it and see if that'll work. Okay, now it's connected. So there we go. We are good to go. So February edition of our Facebook Live, and I'm obviously here with Dr. Rick, one of our awesome providers at Shift here in Traverse City. So really glad to have him hop on here. And there's a reason why we kept it in-house this month, and that is because we have something new that we've added into the practice and some new assessments that we're doing revolving custom orthotics and looking at the different arches in the feet and how those affect the rest of the structure of the body all the way up, and why people can be having, maybe knee or hip or pelvis issues or all the way up through the rest of the spine because their foundation isn't set appropriately. And so leading into that, Dr. Rick has vast amount of experience with custom orthotics, and he's been using them in practice for a long time. And although it's something new to our practice, he has a vast amount of knowledge on that. So I'm excited to have him on tonight. So I guess starting out, Dr. Rick, what are custom orthotics? Like, what's the people who have never heard of that, they don't know what that means. What are those?
Yeah, so technically an orthotic is something that you put into your shoe to help support or the anatomy of your foot, the normal anatomy of your foot. A lot of people have heard of orthotics, but a custom orthotic is made specifically for your foot. And that's it in a nutshell. We'll go more deeper into that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So I think a big difference here is that, when we look at what a custom orthotic is, we have an actual kiosk, a scanner in our office. So it does a 3D laser scan of your feet. And so it can actually look at all three arches. A lot of people don't realize our feet have three arches. So we have a medial arch, a longitudinal arch, and a transverse arch. And so it's interesting if you maybe get, Dr. Scholl's, or you get something commercial, like over the counter type of thing, it's not going to be custom with and support all three arches, which is a big factor. And that's something we see on a lot of people's scans. And so really a big difference there is that these are custom for each person, even from left to right. Each orthotic is different. I'm actually a great example of that. I have one of the worst arch height differences I think we've seen yet to this day. And so that's really troublesome. And that means when we have one arch that is much higher than the other, if one arch is sunken down, that means the pelvis can rotate in that way. I'm someone who constantly was dealing with sacroiliac issues, kind of the hip joint in the back. And that's a huge reason why, since I've moved into using the custom orthotics, that's really been pretty non-existent for me, which is exciting to say. But that's really the difference between if you go, to the store and get something commercial, it's not going to support all three arches. It's not going to be custom from foot to foot. You are not going to get the same effect and the same benefits. So I do want to point that out because that is a question that people ask a lot. And then what's, the other benefit we can talk about with getting the scan done, I'll let you go on that, but is actually getting that report, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. The scan has been a game changer. I've been using orthotics in one way or another for 36 years at this point. I did it because early on in my career, I would adjust people and they would get relief, and we would get that change initially, but it just seemed like it just wouldn't hold. So I was always wondering why, and then I of course went to a seminar and I was taught about the three different arches in your foot. And if you've got 3 arches in each foot, it's like having a building that it requires 3 or 6 pillars to hold it up. If any one of those pillars is not at the right length, the right height, or if it becomes weak and buckles, the whole building is unstable. And that's exactly what this does for us. Is if you've got even one of those 6 arches in 2 feet that is not where it should be, then your entire stability is off, and your adjustments just won't hold as good as they could. And so here at Shift, one thing I noticed, one of the reasons I joined Shift is their adjustments with the techniques that are used here last so long compared to what I was used to. I had a few patients come over, and the results they got were phenomenal. And so when I talked to Dr. Kyle about foot levelers, he was right on it. He said, yeah, I've been looking at those, I've been thinking about it, and great, let's bring them in, as he was ready to go. And so we brought the kiosk in. Now, back in the old days, we used to have to cast people. So we would have this little foam box that we would open up, and they'd get on the floor, and we'd stand down there as doctors and have to try to get their feet just right. And we'd send them off, and if they didn't feel like we had cast them right, they'd send us the cast back, and we'd have to do it again. And it was a back and forth to get the right orthotic. Now we put them on this computerized scanner. They stand there. It takes, in just a few moments, it takes a 3D laser scan of the foot, and it gives us a perfect picture of where they are compared to where they should be. Plus, it gives us a beautiful report on what this might be, if they are not quite right, what it might be doing towards their whole body. The orthotics are not just for your feet, they're for your whole body. In fact, the originator, Dr. Monty Greenwald, called them spinal pelvic stabilizers. He was a chiropractor, and that was his purpose for creating these, is to create stability on which to build the pelvis and the rest of the spine. So yeah, great stuff. The scanner is life-changing.
Yeah, I love that. And that's why the report is so key, because it really allows us to see, are orthotics indicated for you in the first place, right? Yeah. If somebody's got a very mild scan, they have pretty good arch support naturally, then they might, there's not a huge need for the orthotics. And that's what's nice, is we're able to actually differentiate that. It's obviously the furthest thing from a one size fits all. So it's not only they're custom when you do get them, but number 2 is, do you even need them in the first place? And that's something that we assess. And that's part of now our new patient evaluation, is we're not going to ignore that part, right? Like, what good does it do to fix everything else? And then you get up off the table and you take 20 steps and that arch is collapsing, and now that pelvis is torquing again. It's like, right, what's the point of that? So we got to make sure we address it, just to do, provide the best care that we can, which is obviously our goal. So
that's what Shift is all about.
Yep. Yeah.
So really exciting.
Yeah. One thing I think too to touch on, because people will ask this, like, how long are these good for? How long should I keep them? When should I get new ones? Those type of things. First of all, they come with a 1-year warranty.
Yes.
So that's nice. So you're guaranteed a year of these, but they are built to last at least 2 years.
Yes, so, at least 2 years.
Yeah. So that's kind of the time frame. 2 to 3 years typically is what you could probably expect to get out of them. 1 year is a warranty. And then I'd love you to touch on, Dr. Rick, just some of all the different options that are out there for the orthotics. Like, I'll let you go into that. What are all the options they have out there?
Tremendous number of options, and we're using the company we're using is Foot Levelers, and so there's a lot of different options that we have available. But there is, as far as the one that we recommend the most, which is called the In Motion. It is the and excuse me if this is not what you were asking me about. Dr. Scholes is not the answer. So the one that we recommend the most is called the In Motion. It's the #1 selling orthotic in the world. And so, there's a good reason for that. It is thin, it is flexible. Unlike a podiatric, one that you might get from your podiatrist, and that which are stiff and don't move with your foot, these allow your foot and all the bones of your foot to naturally move with your gait while still supporting all 3 of the arches in your foot. custom made. So your right one will not look like your left one. One of the things I love about this, one of the many things I love about it, is there's a fabric in it called sealant. It's sealant technology. And what it does is it reflects your body heat back into your feet in the form of infrared energy. And it increases blood flow and blood oxygenation. So anybody who has diabetes or neuropathy should be doing this. We all should. We all should want more blood flow and oxygenation in our feet, but this has been proven to do so. But we have that. We have full length ones. We have the ability to put these into really any shoe that you want, and you can also move them from shoe to shoe most of the time. But if you have dress shoes, we would suggest maybe you get something along this line, a shorter one that will fit in there. Nice, still fully supportive for you. We have them for athletes, specially made for various different sports. Golf specifically, I love the golf ones. They are amazing and have been, research has shown that they will improve on average your drive by significant yards. I actually wrote it down because I had forgotten this years ago, but 9 to 12 yards in 2000, they did this research that showed on average the golfers got a 9 to 12 yard increase in their drive just by wearing these specific foot levelers in their shoes. So that was worth them getting those. We have flip flops custom made with your prescription right in them. So my wife has it. There's a lot of different styles. My wife has all of them. She's got the little blingy ones and that. So they're cool. You're not going to be walking around in some big orthopedic looking thing. You're going to be fashionable. Plus a lot of name brand shoes, Brooks, and that people love to wear that we can get with your prescription built directly into them, which is really nice. So nobody's going to look at you and go, "Oh, you're wearing something strange." Nope. Just look like fashion, which is great.
No, that's cool. And that's one thing I really love about it is the flexibility, not only literal flexibility, but the different kinds that they make. There's, 20 plus kinds. And so there's, the In Motion you talked about, which is the most popular kind of the catch-all, and you can put those in athletic shoes, lots of different types of shoes. They also have the dress length. So if that's what I wear in my dress shoes. Yep, right there. So it basically goes and like kind of stops where your toes start, because dress shoes are typically very narrow. And so those are great. So for males or females, you can get those at the dress length. They have waterproof ones for anyone who maybe is getting their feet wet or some type of job or activity that they're doing with that. Like we said, we have they can actually make, Brooks shoes and the sandals and those type of things. And then they have the golf orthotics. The 9 to 12 yards on your drive is a pretty huge deal. I know a lot of my friends would appreciate that. So just as much as I do. So any golfers out there, that's a really big thing. Not only, adding yardage to your drive, but again, we're talking about essentially safety with biomechanics and not injuring yourself so you can stay in the game, right? And that's a whole nother part of this too. Like this is really big for athletes because athletes are obviously out there doing quick movements, they're planting, they're twisting. So they need to have the most optimal biomechanics possible. So if we're talking about high school athletes, college athletes, middle school, whatever, these are extremely important to get an athletic support in there. And then they even have some specialized ones for like distance runners that are a little firmer. They actually provide some give back each time that you take a step during your run. So it actually pushes some energy kind of back into your body with every step that you take. And so great for runners as well. So a lot of different options out there that are really cool. And then speaking of, the functionality and why they're important, 2017. So Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation did a study, and these custom orthotics were shown to reduce low back pain on patients who had low back pain by 34%, just by wearing orthotics. So that just shows you how much the base can affect everything else. And Dr. Rick, joining us here at Shift, like how meticulous we are with analyzing every angle, every degree, every shift of every segment of the spine. Like we're trying to correct every little thing. So to not look at something like this, obviously would just be a mistake in my opinion. So I'm glad we're doing that now.
Yeah, I'm excited that it's been brought into the office, and was just tickled pink when that kiosk showed up. You saw me bouncing off the walls in here, and the patients are loving them now. We've got a lot of folks who are on them, and they're reporting back to me all the time what a difference it's already made in their lives in the short time that we've had them. So this is good. I wanted to mention something on the athletic side of things. I had a track coach a number of years ago. She was having a lot of problems with shin splints in her kids that she was coaching, an inordinate number of them. We arranged for her to get orthotics for her team, and she had no shin splints the whole next season, none. No problems with them. So every time that foot hits, it was causing problems in the shin, and we took that out. And so, yeah, something to think about if you're a coach. Look at that for your kids as well. Yeah, really good stuff.
No, that's great.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just going to mention that we have another program called the Mother Nurture program that we have that Foot Levelers has started. It's a during pregnancy, the relaxin, which pumps through the body to get ready for delivery, is pretty strong, full force by about 12 weeks. And so the feet, if you've ever known anybody who's been pregnant, and most of us know somebody, their feet grow a lot of times, or flatten or widen out in that during pregnancy. And so Foot Levelers came up with a program that is well researched that has a set of three different pairs of orthotics that the woman wears during her pregnancy, and to support the feet and make sure that doesn't happen during that time and end up leading to further problems down the road with the whole spine. So we're real excited about that program as well, and it's available here through us as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
One thing I just wanted to share that was so cool. The other day I was walking through our adjusting area, and you were taking care of one of our patients, John. Obviously won't say his last name, but John's been coming to see us for several years, and he's done awesome. He's a great testimonial, great story, improvement in his symptoms, all this stuff. But I stopped to say hi to him, and you were right there, so I know you heard all of this. But he's like, hey, I got to tell you, thank you so much for getting these orthotics and doing this, because he had just gotten a pair, and he said, I've had this left-sided hip and knee pain that's kind of crept up on me the last several months, and couldn't figure out what to do about it, and I wasn't really getting answers on this, so I went ahead, got these orthotics. I haven't had it at all the last few weeks since I put these things in, and so he was just so excited and kept thanking us for just having them, having those as an option, and it's just, that's why we do what we do, right? So it's just, it's heartwarming when we hear those stories and see people's lives be changed. And it seems maybe obscure to some people, like how could just putting something in your shoes, affect you that much? But it really is true. And especially anyone that's active, I really encourage you to try them out. And then for me, like when I say active, like I go to the gym, I'll squat, deadlift, whatever. The first time that I wore them and went and squatted at the gym, I felt, the best way I could describe it is I just felt stable.
Yes.
Like I felt locked in. I felt like my biomechanics were proper. I didn't need to focus so much on my form. And it was very interesting. I was surprised by it. It was like, man, I just feel balanced and like steady underneath the bar right now. So, if you're someone who's in tune with your body, you're pretty active, like you'll definitely notice a big difference as well.
Yeah, no, that is for sure. And that's one of the tests that we can do for somebody, is to have them stand on a set of what are called proprioceptive test orthotics, which Foot Levelers makes for us. And we can stand you on that, have you do a squat, stand you without them, have you do a squat, and you will see right now how much more stable you are, even with the test orthotic that's not 100% made custom for you, but it's holding up the three arches on each foot better than they are now. So yeah, that's one of the many tests we can do for people. Yeah, that's awesome. That's exciting. Never gets old either. Just never gets old. You know? Yeah, no, very exciting.
So we've got, I think we're going to do something a little special for the springtime here. Do you want to briefly touch on that?
Yeah, so here starting pretty quick here.
I think in March.
We're going to be running a couple of specials. One is our flip-flop special. It's because spring it's time to spring and get your flip-flops ready. And once we have, my wife has every year, she has what we call the releasing of the toes ceremony, and once that happens, they don't go back in until the snow flies again. So she's got a really nice collection of these flip-flops, and if it's good for her, it's good for you guys too. And so we are going to be offering a discount, I believe it's 20% off of the flip-flops during that time, and so that's a really great savings. And then Foot Levelers itself is running a special called Arch Madness during March, and we're going to take advantage of that as well. So that will be on Orthotics themselves. You'll be able to get a nice discount on 2 of those, and I'm sorry, I'll have to check on what that is, but we'll make sure we get it out there for you guys so that this is a great time to save on picking up some orthotics for yourself if you need them. Come find out if you need them. That's first.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't even talk to you about them without a scan. So need to get scanned and see if it's a need in the first place. But yeah, I know it's spring break's coming in hot, so we can get those orders in. That's why we wanted to do this. This flip-flop sandal. They also, not just flip-flops, they have actual full sandals and things as well. Yes. They have the oh man, what are those kind? The Birks that my daughter and
they're called the Roanoke.
Yep.
But they look like a Burke. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they have those, they got lots of different kinds, but coming into spring break, so you can actually get those custom sandals ready for that time. And yeah, we're doing a special starting in March. So I think we're doing like 20% off, which will be great.
Yeah.
And again, if you're someone who suffers from foot pain, ankle pain, knee pain, hip pain, low back, that type of stuff, it doesn't mean this is what's causing it, but it means it's worth getting a scan and getting it checked out. That's what I would say, because it could be a component of what's driving that. And like I said, we now include that in every new patient evaluation that we do. This is now standard practice for us because we see the importance and what it does. And we don't want to miss that and have people continue to have issues down the line when we're trying to do our job and we're like, what are we missing? We want to make sure that we attack it from every angle and that people are truly living, happy, healthy, and pain-free. That's our goal. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Any final thoughts there, Dr. Rick?
No, I appreciate the opportunity. You guys, I love it here at Shift. I've been here for a while now, and I'm honestly getting the best results of my career. I've been doing this for 36 years, and I just have never seen the kinds of changes on X-ray that we get, and that the lives that are being changed every single day. I'm told how much we've changed people's lives, and so this is why I do what I do. This is why I've been doing this for so long. So to be tied in with Dr. Kyle, get a little emotional about this, and the rest of the crowd is amazing, and they're willing to just grab the latest technology that's going to help you to get better results. Dr. Kyle's going to invest in that and make sure he's got that available for you, and so this is just another example of that. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words, and that's just our mission. So
yeah.
It's what we do. It's what we're all about. It's what keeps us up at night. So more where that came from, we'll keep pushing forward. And thanks for hopping on here with me discussing orthotics. Hopefully everybody learned something out of this.
Yeah.
And other than that, we'll see everybody in the office here soon. Everybody have a great night.
See you guys. See you on the tables.